nookie, the act of getting it on, making whoopee, doing the horizontal boogie. Cookie nookie, the act of getting it on, making whoopee, and doing the horizontal boogie with cookies. Get your cookie nookie on. Experience mouthwatering homemade cookies the way they are meant to be. Visit getcookienookie.com and use promo code Wild Nights with your purchase from now until February 7th, and you'll get a free half dozen mystery cookies added to your order. That's promo code Wild Nights. Treats made with love. I have a public service announcement, in the form of a jingle, of course. You can't double up on condoms. You can't double dip your chip. You can't dribble double basketball then fall because you slip. You can't double take perfection. You can't double soak a cloak. You can't chew a double bubble gum and not worry you'll choke. You can't double up your cocaine bump. Can't double talk your boss. You can't just double brush your teeth because you forgot to floss. You can't double take an Uggo. You can't double date your ex. Double toil in trouble. I just did a hex. You can't double park on acid. You can't double dutch in space. You can't double down in Vegas when the dealer shows an ace. I think I covered all the things you can't double down or do. But you can double up on your mask. Please just wear 2 of your masks. Fucking wear all of the masks. Science is sexy.
It's time for the Rocket
If you are joining me for the first time ever, I'm Rocky, your host, and before I get to my guest this week, this is a segment we like to call the Rocky Rundown, where I keep you in the loop about my week. One of the exciting things I have going on is I am waiting for my in-home stepper to arrive in the mail. A stepper, if you don't know, is a small thing you work out on, and you can fit it under your bed, and it's compact for small spaces. I think it's also going to come with some resistant bands, and it'll count my calories. It's just the bee's knees. Well, maybe. We don't know. I haven't stepped on it yet. It might, be the bee's shin splints. And I ordered it. I did not order it off Amazon because I don't know. Sometimes I feel icky ordering off Amazon, but then I'm in a pickle because everything takes 5 years to get here when I don't use Amazon, but I can't cancel Amazon because I love Maisel. It's just this whole soap opera crisis I've started with myself. I only ordered this thing because I can't keep up with my vibrator anymore. My stamina is slipping. I used to be able to go like 6, 7, 12 times in a row. Now I'm down to like 4, and that just does not work for me and my vagina. So, the stepper we shall step. Please hurry. I used to throw a yearly party called the Justin Timberlake Birthday Brunch, and I said what I said. And if you're listening today on February 1st, 2021, that means yesterday was Justin Timberlake's 40th birthday. Me and my party gods, we would have raged all day yesterday. So shout out to each and every past attendee of those fiestas, and shout out to Justin Timberlake, who I'm sure is listening. Speaking of shout outs, I was on not 1, but 2 podcasts last week. The Christian Reeve podcast, streaming all the way from the UK, hosted by, you guessed it, Christian Reeve, and the Hot Mess Comedy Hour, hosted by last week's guest, Andrea Allen, and her co-host, Emily Lubin, my new friend. And hopefully I can get both Christian and Emily to, in the near future, be guests on here because I would love to have them. Please check both of those podcasts out if you need more Rocky in your life. My guest today is Josh Martinez. Josh is a radio host in over 45 cities across the U.S. He's funny, he's cool, he was an absolute pleasure to talk with. His wild word was, what? Him and I did a little bit of name dropping in this episode. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, rate, review, share the podcast. Keep staying safe, and please enjoy my conversation with Josh Martinez.
Josh, welcome. I'll let you finish drinking.
No. It's all good. Don't worry about
Josh, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Nah, it's all good. This is all vodka, by the way.
All vodka.
All
oh my
vodka.
God. This coffee is all Jameson. I wish.
Exactly.
I can't drink Jameson. If I drink Jameson, I black out. So I try to steer clear of whiskey.
You know, I just had Jameson for the first time in a long time. Last week, actually, a friend of mine came over with Jameson, and she was just like, "You want to take shots?" I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna say no."
Right. How did that end up?
It was just one shot, and I remember thinking after I took it, "There's a reason why I don't take this anymore. Like,
yeah,
it's not good."
The few times I have, because when I was starting to drink, like when you get into your adolescence and then you start to drink into like your 20s and whatever, I never liked the taste of whiskey, so I didn't drink it. And then I started to drink it probably in my mid 20s. People would be like, "Oh, you want it? Let's do a Jameson shot. Let's do a pickleback shot." And I started to drink it, and I remember really enjoying that kind of drunk, but then completely lights out. And then you wake up and you're like, okay, where did the entire night go?
No, I totally get it. I luckily, and I mean, I'm just being honest. I started drinking when I was, I think, maybe 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And it's like your typical random Friday night party. And, you know, beer to me tasted like trash.
Right.
So it was just straight into liquor. And then I found out that like 151 is like the drizzling shits, basically. And the strongest thing ever. So then at that point, when you're a 16, 17, 18-year-old trying to be all cool, I adopted the nickname Mr. 151 because I would always have a bottle with me at all times.
Wow.
All the parties we would go to, I would always have the bottle with me. And I would always kind of stay at 1.5 shots because I knew nobody could take more than one anyway.
Right.
So I would actually not drink it until everyone took shots.
Right.
You pace yourself. And then ever since then, I kind of pace myself. And over the last 3 years, it's been vodka water.
Vodka water.
Heaven sent. If you're at a bar, you just get like 2 slices of a citrus, lemon, or lime.
Yeah.
If you're at home, like I have my bar behind me. At home, I have like just a bunch of Mio flavors.
Oh, okay.
So good. Lessens the chances of a hangover because you stay hydrated.
Exactly.
Highly recommend vodka, water, Mio, or citrus.
I love that. I had a vodka water last week because I was out of club soda. Just threw a little bit of lime juice in it. There's nothing wrong with vodka water. It makes it easier to drink. Yeah, it's so good.
Yes.
I have met very few people who also like vodka water, so that's nice to meet. So you have had a lot of wild nights, I'm sure, just from the nature of our conversation up to this point. And I asked you before the podcast started, can I have a wild word? And you said your wild word for your story was what? So I think everybody needs
what?
I
needed a sound effect before the what to really get across. It was one of those nights where as things are happening, you know, you're going with it, right? You're just kind of going with the flow. Everything's making sense. But then you have those random moments where you, for lack of a better term, kind of stop and smell the roses or stop and kind of check your surroundings. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Is what I really wanted to say.
Right.
You said one word. So said, what?
It
was definitely one of those nights. And my girlfriend felt the exact same way.
Okay.
And then telling people the story afterwards, it was the exact same thing where it's just like, what? And then it just kept going. And it's just one of those things where it's continuously like, this is normal.
Right. Okay. I'm dying to know. I got to know what happened. What is the what?
So I am a diehard wrestling fan, always have been. I mean, I have a custom painting over here in the corner that's wrestling that a friend made for me. The wall that you can't see is like a wrestling shrine. So that's how big of a wrestling fan I am. It's
perfect.
Not just it's dumb shit like that.
Got it.
And they, you know, WWE and all these other companies, they do their shows around town. And since I work in radio, they kind of do their promotions and they go to TV stations, radio stations, they do all that stuff. I just so happen to become cool with a couple of them based on that, and them trusting me because I'm not trying to get the ooh, got you type of interview. I just want to shoot the shit. I don't even talk wrestling with them on the interviews because anybody else, the last thing you want to talk about is work. And that is work for them.
Mm-hmm.
You just slowly develop this rapport with them, and all of a sudden they come back to your town. This particular night, there happened to be a huge UFC event.
Okay.
And I told them, hey, I can get us a section to watch this pay-per-view event. If you guys just want to kind of have a night where there's no fans around, security's there, just watch it. It ended up with a slew of them coming, which I just invited like maybe 2 to 3. It was a good chunk of the locker room coming to hang out, and it was a night for them to unwind.
So how many would you say it was? 20?
Including like officials and like
like their entourage. Wow. Okay.
I would say in total maybe 10 to 13. Like, I'm not going to say any names, and I'm sorry for being lame.
Of course, no, you're totally fine. We protect the innocent here and the not so innocent, so that's quite all right.
Exactly. So I would say 10 to 13 like names that people would be like, wait. That's actually really cool. Like, you don't even have to be a wrestling fan to know the majority.
To know that, So you were in heaven because you love wrestling, and you're now hanging out with all these. This is the dream.
And you got to be Joe Cool though. You can't.
You
can't let it on. You're just kind of like, oh, what's your name? Like, motherfucker, I know your name.
I know. Yeah.
and you know they one of the more cool things is, you know, if they know you're cool, they're kind of open up to you a little more, and they're not using their alias to introduce themselves. They're using their real names. And it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to refer to you. So I'm talking to these people that I see on TV, and I'm referring to them as their basic ass legal
Joe Schmo,
name. Yeah, it's like, hey, Joe. Meanwhile, on TV, they have like this badass name.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we get the night going, and they were very appreciative, very respectful. The UFC event was actually a genuinely fun, really good event. And then from there, it was kind of, this is, mind you, before COVID, BC times.
BC, you know, yes, as we say.
Yeah, and we wanted to keep the party going and keep the night going.
Yeah.
So the idea was thrown around about possibly going to a strip club.
Okay.
So my girlfriend's with me.
Yeah.
And she actually ended up being MVP of the night for multiple reasons.
Okay.
One, there was no like security to kind of like have somebody at the VIP section to kind of stop fans from coming over.
Well, can I just say these are like, do wrestlers need security, huh?
It's not security for like safety, but more so like, I just want to chill and relax.
Yeah, I don't want to have to, like people bum rushing them, drunk people, crazy people. Okay, because they could knock someone out essentially.
But they can't. Like, that's the thing too, right?
Oh,
like,
right, because it's all.
You can't touch us. You can't, because of your character that you're perceiving on TV.
Right.
I mean, you got to kind of be on at all times in regards to almost as fans. You don't know who's a fan, so you don't want to rub somebody the wrong way.
Of course, yeah. And they've been like fighting people in the street their whole life. Okay.
Exactly. So then all of a sudden, my girlfriend's the one that's like just aggressive, you know, like, and you have to be shunning people away. She's the one that's like closing the blinds of the bar because after the event lets out, all of a sudden it takes one person to look inside the bar, see 3 or 4 of them lose their minds.
Right, you know right.
So she's the one that's like total badass about it all. And they like loved her and respected her for that, because they can't be the ones to sit there and be like, fuck this, and close the blinds on all these fans,
that'll end up on TMZ or something. Yeah.
Exactly. So so she was MVP of the night. So then we started talking about strip clubs and barcades, because there were some in the area. And then before I knew it, it was kind of like the event was over.
Yeah.
And more people kind of got it added to the mix. And then some people decided to go to their hotel room. Some people kind of wanted to keep the party going because it was a Saturday night. We're in a city that we're not going to be in probably for another 3 months or years. So one of them needed to get cash for the strip club and needed to come up with a reason to take this cash out from the ATM at 1 in the morning.
Okay, yeah, because they put a limit.
Well, and their wife. They had a wife.
Oh my God. Okay, so someone's checking the bank statements.
So I mean, if your partner decided to go to the ATM at 12 a.m. on a Saturday in a random Midwest city, you're probably gonna be like, "The fuck do you need $400 for?"
I would know exactly what they need it for. They need
exactly.
They need it for some lap dances.
Yeah. So, but they needed an excuse. So then we kind of came up with the idea of, just say that this person paid for the tab. You took photos tonight. There's records that we're watching UFC and having a good time. You're just going to give cash back to this person or whatever for covering your cost or whatever.
Jeez.
So they were just like, that's a really good idea. We were drinking. My girlfriend was the only one that wasn't drinking. So she needed to be designated driver. So we go to the ATM. We hit up the strip club. I'm in joggers. A couple of them are in sweats, and we couldn't get allowed in.
Of course. Yeah, you got the dress code.
Yeah, and small Midwest city, they don't know that these big professional wrestlers are showing up to the strip club. So we got denied at the door.
Wow.
And on our way back to the car, because we were just like, oh, that's a fail.
Yeah.
A bouncer or manager comes running out and is like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry we turned you away. Like, we'll bring you back in.
Yeah.
And the guys were just like, nah, like the mood's dead at that point.
Yeah.
But we're still looking for a good time.
Yeah, and your friend's got all this cash on him now. So
So randomly hit up a barcade. And luckily we were in a part of town where it kind of just regulars. No one gave a shit that these big time stars are in this barcade, and then eventually we went to another hole in the wall type bar.
Right.
No one gives a shit. No one's recognizing them.
Yeah.
No one's noticing. So they're kind of really enjoying themselves because it's a night out to just chill.
Yeah, they can finally just enjoy life without having to like be on.
Exactly. And I had a friend with me who was kind of freaking out, and he's not into that, being around anyone worth a status, I guess.
Right.
But he may have been in the hospitality industry. He may have known, a cook that may have sold some at the time narcotics that is a natural plant.
Oh, got it.
A couple of the guys were kind of like, hey, do you know of anyone? And one text message gets sent, another call, and before you know it, there's deliveries being made.
There we go. I have a feeling it's my favorite narcotic as well.
It's the one that should not even be illegal. It's legal in most states.
Absolutely.
And,
the drug that makes you the most peaceful.
And chilling and proven to actually get you physically better.
Yep.
But alas, here we are. And all of a sudden they're just kind of like in front of the bar area or whatever, just smoking like it's nothing. And part of me was kind of like, what should we go into an alleyway? They're like, no, like, don't worry about it. We do this all the time, every city. This city ain't gonna mess with us, like, it's fine.
Oh no.
And one of them was like, dude, if it's that big of a deal, like, I'll take care of it if anything happens. And nothing did happen. And it was just one of those things where, you're looking back and you're realizing, I sent one text message and I got this VIP type area that was closed down at a bar, opened up for these guys to enjoy themselves. Then we go to a strip club and get denied. I mean, the bill, I wanted to so badly look at the bar bill, so badly. Because they were like, yo, just put it on one bill, don't worry about it. And I mean, drinks and appetizers were flowing, and they're ordering steamed broccoli and steamed vegetables at 11 p.m. on a Saturday. And it's
everybody's sharing and everything.
Healthy motherfuckers.
That's how
I'm over here eating wings, like, shit, I should probably not have this wing.
Yeah, I heard these wings were organic.
Yeah,
so I wasn't gonna eat them.
Yeah, it was, it was one of those nights where as things are happening, I'm not really processing.
Yeah.
And I was tipsy.
Of course.
And the next morning, I remember just kind of laying in bed and being like, you send a group text to your boys, to your girls, whatever, your group, yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those stories where it's like, y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna believe this shit.
Yeah.
And just kind of run down the entire night of drinking and smoking and hanging out, and in the most chill environment. And my favorite part of the entire experience, because it was that an experience, how appreciative these guys were.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that they're just like us. They just want to chill. And unfortunately, it takes one fan, one person to really ruin the night. The same way it takes one friend or high school enemy or coworker to ruin our nights, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the likelihood of their nights being ruined is much higher. But
right.
And
just one nut.
Exactly. And being in the industry, in radio for the last 12 years now.
Right.
I have many stories with artists and celebrities that are that end with them showing so much appreciation for doing something that you and I do regularly.
Yeah.
You and I do as often as possible before COVID, of course.
Right.
Simple, for lack of a better term, kick your feet up, have a drink, have a smoke, and just chill. And, you don't realize that these people, unfortunately, whether they're superstar athletes, pro wrestlers, artists, actors, social influencers now is a thing.
Yeah.
You don't realize that sometimes all they want to do is kind of like relax.
Yeah.
And be normal, I guess, is the best way to put it in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Just be normal about it all. And they crave that more than I think people realize. And that's why you have all these, like TMZ is like the worst thing to ever happen to artists, because simply going to Whole Foods could ruin their next few days because of what a comment is on social media. What I'm saying?
Well, it's with celebrities, or even someone who's maybe not someone everybody knows, but just somebody who's in that industry in any capacity. Of course, they love the fame. Of course, they love the attention sometimes. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. But then it's up to them as the individual when they want to turn it off and when they don't want to have that recognition, or they want to just do something normal. There was one time I was at a comedy holiday party and there was Jeff Ross was there.
Okay.
And he was chilling. He was, talking to some people. It was a small-ish bar, but, it was pretty full of people. And I was drunk. I was with my friend and I walked up to him really thinking I was cute, really thinking I was hot shit. I was probably like 24 or 25 at the time. I walk up to him and I'm like, "Hey, Jeff Ross," just really high pitched and excited. And he looked at me and he goes, "I'm having a conversation." And I was like so offended. Like, how could you not want to talk to all of this? And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to like say hi to Jeff Ross." And he's like, "Well, are you rude? Like, you see me in the middle of a conversation. Why are you interrupting my conversation?" And I was like, "Well, I was just just panicked." And then I was like, "Okay, bye." And I tried to walk away and like try to save some face. And then he was like, "Where are you going?" And then I was like, "Well, you just," and then he was totally like trying to hang and trying to be cool. And then I think we, had a couple shots or drank, or everybody just kind of mingled. But he did kind of like put me in my place. Like, I'm having a conversation. You don't just get to be like a rude drunk girl. But I was, and it was fine.
even out here. I mean, I currently live in Dayton, Ohio. And, like Dave Chappelle is massive in Dayton and Yellow Springs, which is like 30 minutes from where I live.
He's my favorite.
There's so many stories of him, and I've never seen him kind of out and about, but there's so many stories of him being kind of at a random bar by himself, and he's approachable, but he doesn't want to like chat with you, right? Like he doesn't want, like, if he's out in his neighborhood, in his environment, he kind of wants to be to himself and relax. But just like any of us, like if we decided to go to a random bar to just by ourselves for whatever reason, maybe we know the bartender, maybe we wanted to get out, maybe we wanted to watch the game in a different environment, whatever the situation is. And from what I've heard, he's very approachable, but not like, if you come correct, I think like anybody else, if you come correct, it's like, "Hey man, you're a big fan, thank you, I appreciate it," and that's it. It's not like, don't come aggressive and yell, "Oh my God, I love you," and Half Baked and "I love your Netflix documentaries," or something like that. And I've heard stories of him being so chill that after 3 minutes of banter, it's like, "Do you want a drink? It's on me," or whatever. And then before you know it, you're there for 20 minutes and then peacefully depart and leave him by himself. And I think it's kind of like anything else, reading social cues.
Yes.
Yes. Even if it's someone, you know from high school that you haven't seen in 8 years, but you know them because you're Facebook friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you approach them and maybe they're just off that night. And I think that's the other thing too that a lot of us don't realize about these artists and celebrities and such. It's like, dude, just like us, they can have off nights where
of
they
course.
just
they're human.
They don't want to deal with shit
mm-hmm.
that night. You know what I'm saying? From
mm-hmm.
anyone, not their manager, not their family, not their kids. And then all of a sudden, this stranger is all this energy is coming at them.
Yeah.
And I totally get it. I mean, I've been, with artists where, and this is kind of a sidebar story. I'll give an example.
No, please.
This story really made me think. This quick 30-second interaction really made me realize like this shit is not easy. A young artist by the name of Jake Miller. He's in his early 20s now, maybe mid 20s, but in his late teenage years, he was like on pace to be the next Bieber.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, he was firing on all cylinders, had such a buzz coming up, and he did a show in Des Moines, Iowa when I was working there, and next to the venue was a random taco spot that stayed open late. Nobody was in there. We decided there was like 12 of us. Went into this taco spot. This girl like storms in, like literally like comes up against the shoulders, like, "Oh my God, I love you. Can we take a picture?" And I just remember sitting there like, holy shit, this is like the most rude, ridiculous thing ever. And he was like super polite. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
He stands up, takes a picture, has his manager take the picture, and she's very thankful. They hug, they walk away. She gets on the phone. No more than like 7 minutes later, a minivan pulls up with like 6 girls. They jump out, they run up like to the table, and he was very calm. And he goes, "Hey, we're all eating. Let's go outside so we're not too loud." And he went outside and took his sweet ass time with every single fan, so that the rest of us eating and drinking we're not interrupted, for lack of a better term, by all this energy and yelling and uncomfortableness. You know what I'm saying? And that'll always stick with me because again, I'm not, and I like to do, like I'm genuinely cool with him, but it wasn't even like he was Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't Beyonce, Lady Gaga. He wasn't on this upper echelon list of
that caliber
celebrity. Yeah. But again, I mean, nowadays on social media, it's getting that selfie for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Tumblr, Flickr, MySpace, like Tinder, Hinge,
everything.
Bumble.
Yeah. Any kind of platform that you can put it on. Now, I have to ask you, after this night, did you keep in contact with any of those guys?
2 of them in particular, yeah.
2
of them in particular, to the point where, if they happen to come to the market that I'm working in, I'll hit them up. Hey, saw that you're coming to town. Hit me up if you want to hang. I'm not a fangirl, just kind of throw it out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been, since that night, maybe 5 or 6 instances where we text back and forth. And I would say maybe 1, maybe 2 times we couldn't hang out. One of the times was because I'm like, you guys aren't going to be ready till 1 a.m. It's a fucking Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Not happening.
I'm good, friend.
Yeah.
But no, there's definitely a couple of them where, have their phone number, text them. And
amazing.
But again, I think it has to do with coming correct, right? Like, you just come very casual and honest. They get it, because they just, if they have a connect to that market social pipeline and they want to hang because they have a flight, at 3 a.m. or they got to be at the airport at 3 a.m. So many times they want to stay up and stay awake.
Yeah. They want to fill that time. They're not trying to go to the airport and hang out and wait there. They want to go fill that time. And these are the kind of people who know how to have fun too. So they're going to make a memory. Because
they've been doing it for years too. So they know what their limit is and what their level of let's keep this going is. And I mean, I have, again, various stories, but it's one night, so we'll keep it to one night. I have instances with artists that I've hung out with because they had a flight at, 3, 4 in the morning, and they were like, "Yo, I just need to stay up." You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, it's just me, and I'll name drop. I don't care for one particular story. Again, one night, I'm sorry, ADD kicks in.
No, it's okay.
And there's nothing negative with the story, so I will say that.
Yeah, please.
Jason Derulo, Jason Derulo, yeah, and a buddy of mine who was at the time an on-air host in New York City. Jason was basically like, "Yo, I have to be in the lobby at like 3 a.m. for a flight. I don't want to go to sleep. If you guys want to have drinks after your show, this is the hotel I'm staying at, whatever. My buddy got off air at 12 a.m. We got Midtown Manhattan by about 12:20. And there's this, and I don't even know if it's there anymore, but there was this Irish pub within like a block or two of the Paramount Hotel off of Times Square.
There's so many, maybe the Playwright.
I just remember being a super Irish pub, and that's why we went there.
Yeah.
Because it was like a Wednesday night, and we realized if there's going to be a dead bar, it's probably an Irish pub on a Wednesday.
Right.
In Midtown. So, yeah, we walked in, and sure enough, it was dead, and the three of us sat down. We ran up a bill of about $130, $150 on just drinks, no food. And it was fun to just have that opportunity for him to just kick it and unwind and relax and be human. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the night, when the bill came, my buddy and him were kind of, I'll pay. And I'm sitting there like, yo, all I got is a Metro card in my pocket. Y'all figure that shit out.
Yeah. You got a Metro card and a smile.
Yeah. Like I may have 84 cents in a back pocket, but it may also be thick lint. I don't know. Like
it could be 84 cents. And I think I'm going to keep that 84 cents.
Yeah. Figure that out. I'm gonna just chill back here. And no, but it was fun to, and again, it's one of those things where he was just, I want to keep the night going and keep it going for a reason, you know, and a lot of them are like that. A lot of artists and celebrities are like that. And there's others that are like, every minute of sleep and laying down I could do for the love of God and all things holy, please let it happen.
Yeah. They don't want to do the whole party thing. And it's probably people that you would expect to be partiers, and they're the ones who are like, deuces.
And a lot of times the ones that are kind of low key end up being the party ones, and you're like, oh well.
Well, that was indeed wild. I actually am really happy to hear that you kept in touch with some of them, because I feel like those are the moments that make life, honestly, those are the moments that make life worth living. Like, you now have friends of something that you almost manifested it. You have all this wrestling memorabilia and you love it. So that's one of the coolest moments for me.
And I think for me, the reason why the story stands out, and there are so many details to the story that I do remember vividly, is because there's so many, again, I've been in radio for 12 years, running radio stations for many years as well. I'm constantly interacting with artists and celebrities and backstage at shows and doing all these fun things. They're dope. Don't get me wrong. They're fucking like tremendous. And being a poor kid that grew up on welfare in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, like this shit is wild to me sometimes. Like I have platinum plaques on my walls, like that I get from, you know, supporting songs and artists and stuff. And like, that shit will never get old to me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But to me, it's like, there's an extra level of like, this is fucking dope. And that comes from people that I love and value in my life being part of this experience. You know what I'm saying? So having cousins and friends and family members basically rub shoulders with people they see on TV or in music video, like that to me is by far the best thing. Giving people the opportunity to experience things they otherwise may never have a chance to do, like being at a barcade with their favorite wrestler, being at a taco spot, you know, with their favorite artist at the time, or talking hockey with their favorite artist at the time. Like just random shit like that to me is easily the best part of what it is that I do. That's why, like, for me, I don't take this shit for granted ever. And when there's opportunities where I can experience these really cool things, I take a step back real quick and I think, who can I trust to be part of this? Because that's a huge part of it too. Because they know they could trust me, but can they trust the camp that I'm kind of intermingling?
You're responsible for whoever you bring into the party.
Exactly.
So it's amazing on one hand because you get to be you're basically the bridge for all your loved ones and the people they put on a pedestal. And so they'll never forget that moment that you've connected the two, but you don't know if somebody's having an off night. You don't know if somebody's going to drink too much, smoke too much, do whatever, and then embarrass the shit out of you. So you do have to choose wisely.
No, absolutely. And I do trust the people that I do bring around. And even something as simple as like, and I feel like I kind of feel like a douchebag name dropping, but then at the same time, I'm like, that's literally the whole point of this. Like, so fuck it.
Whatever, yeah.
Like my sister, for example, I have a sister that's 1.5 years older than me. She's not like the biggest Taylor Swift fan ever. It's just not her cup of tea. But he visited me and I got a chance to hang out with Taylor and I got a chance to bring my sister with me backstage. And it's like little things like that where like my sister would never imagine to hang out with Taylor Swift because why would she? It's not like she's this diehard fan.
Yeah.
Have it manifest. But then all of a sudden her little brother is like, oh yeah, just come visit me this weekend. We'll go, kick it with Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift compliments her pants. And it's like, yo, this is wild because this is someone I never thought I would meet. And she's complimenting my fucking pants. Like, what?
Yeah.
How is that? And that to me, that's the shit I value more than anything else. It's the fact that, again, I can give these experiences that, people may not have the chance to get. And like my sister not being a Taylor Swift fan would never have that chance. You know what I mean?
I bet you she listens to Taylor Swift now a little bit.
Not really.
No.
She respects her though. She respects her.
We'll shake it off. We'll shake it off. Josh, where can people find you online? How can people follow you on social media? Anything? Hear you on the radio?
I'm nationally syndicated across iHeartRadio on
Beautiful.
A channel called Hit Nation, and Hit Nation is distributed across dozens of stations across the country, which is dope. Just driving through like Lexington, Kentucky, and hearing my voice, it's like that's weird because I don't live here, but that's me.
Yeah, and they know you there.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It pays my bills, so hopefully. And I'm on air in Cincinnati, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Chicago, Detroit, Phoenix, among other stations. All that list is on my social media accounts. Yo, Josh Martinez. It's all one word. Yo, Josh Martinez. It took me years to finally like grow and be like the biggest Josh Martinez on the planet because there was an independent Canadian rapper that had that alias. And finally, when I like overtook him, this guy on Big Brother that's now on The Challenge is named Josh Martinez. And I'm like,
I was going to say,
bitch.
Yeah, I know that, Josh.
Fucker. And apparently he's not very well liked on The Challenge either, but whatever.
He grew on me on Big Brother. In the beginning, I just thought, oh, this guy is drama. He's drama. He's drama. Then towards the end, he showed a really empathetic side. And people might get mad at me for saying this, but I kind of was like, oh, okay, I like Josh. He's growing on me. But I have heard that on The Challenge, he's not everyone's favorite. So we'll see.
Which, listen, kudos to him because when you're on a reality show, sometimes it's the heels, it's the bad guys that get the most TV time. So if it's an act, God bless him.
I think his heart is good. I do. I feel like his heart is good, but I think he bumped it up for the camera a little bit, especially on Big Brother. Why not? Why wouldn't you? It made him a huge Josh Martinez. I'll tell you that much.
I hate it. I hate it. But yeah, yo, Josh Martinez across, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. I feel like such an old man on it, but it helps with the brand recognition
of
for
course.
What I do for a living. So I'm like, 2021, I will get on TikTok and start posting often. And so I've started.
We will follow you on TikTok, Josh. Josh, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that story. I'm a little jealous. I wasn't out on wrestling night. I feel like I would have been the one with your girlfriend closing the blinds.
Someone's got to be a heel. She took it in stride and they loved her for it and they called her Liv Tyler the whole night.
What's her name?
Her name is Desiree.
Shout to Des.
One person thought she looked like Liv Tyler, then another one agreed, and then the rest of the night they're just really bad with names, so they're like, yo, Liv Tyler.
Perfect. Everyone loves a nickname. Well, Josh, thank you so much for doing the show.
I appreciate it.
Of course, I can't wait to hear some more wild stories in the future.
Maybe we'll do one, hopefully, where I can name drop the fuck out of people.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to probably, when this is over, ask you. I have a couple questions myself that I didn't want to put on. So
all good.
Thank you so much, Josh. It's